Hello everyone, I'm Greg Weaver. Welcome to The Audio Analyst. Today, we will make virtual visits to 3 more rooms from High End Munich 2024, including several featuring particularly important world premiere product launches. I'll start with the room partnered by Kronos Audio, WADAX, Pilium Audio, and Göble High End on Atrium 4.1 in E115. This system was simply glorious sounding. The analog source here was the pinnacle of LP transcription today in my personal experience. Montreal, Canada's sui generis Kronos Discovery Turntable. Using its equally significant pickup arm, the Kronos Discovery RS, or Resonance Suppression Tonearm, it was fitted with the ZYX UNIverse III moving coil cartridge from Japan, which sent its delicate signal to the world premiere of the latest benchmark-setting product from Kronos Audio, the 3-chassis Kronos Discovery Phonostage, a phono preamplifier that is independently isolated in its own suspension cradle system. All of these exceptional LP playback products were supported on a dedicated Kronos D stand. Digital playback here in this exquisite system was provided by WADAX of Madrid, Spain, who were pleased to launch the world premiere of their remarkable studio player. The new studio player must be seen as surprisingly affordable given the positioning of the other flagship level products from WADAX, which all occupy the upper strata of hyper audio performance and pricing. Greece's Pilium Audio provided the superb electronics, all from their Master Divine series, including the exemplary 3-chassis Olympus line stage with its pair of external mono power supplies, and a duo of their massive 370-pound Atlas monoblocks with 450 watts of power into 8 ohms or 900 watts into 4, both from Pilium. Not to be outdone, Munich's own Göble High End offered the world premiere of their Comtessa loudspeakers, the latest and most affordable floor-standing addition to their flagship Divin series, augmented with a single Göble Divin Sovereign 18-inch powered subwoofer. A full loom of the Göble LaCord products, interconnects, loudspeaker cables, AC power cords, as well as USB and Ethernet cables provided all the connectivity for the system. My time listening in this room was dominated by LP playback, and the moment music started to play here, I was struck by the compelling sense with which this system represented the presence of a live performance. This exotic and remarkable system had an unnerving ability to render the music under its influence with a considerably engaging sense of liveliness. With touchstone cuts like On Green Dolphin Street from the Miles 58 record, horns were recreated in such a realistic manner, so authentically, dynamic, and tonally correct that it was almost magical. Overall, I was completely captivated by this system's ability to resolve and present refined detail, nuance, and pitch definition, even down into the subsonic region. Add to this its ability to regenerate exceptionally faithful timbre, its naturalness and highly nuanced expressiveness, especially of microdynamic shading and detail, and its near utterly enchanting capability to render authentic tonality, engaging texture, and the physical corporality of human and instrumental voices, and you only begin to understand how remarkably this system accomplished that grand illusion of regenerating music. I visited this room repeatedly over the 4 days of the show, and it only got better each time I visited. There is no doubt in my mind that the world premiere of the Kronos Discovery Phonostage was one of the most significant introductions at this established and seminal audio event. My time spent listening to this system as displayed here merely reinforced my original opinions of the capabilities of the Kronos Discovery Phonostage, formed during my 3-day visit to Kronos in Montreal in early April of this year. In my experience, the Kronos Discovery Phono preamplifier not only establishes a conspicuous and indisputable new benchmark, but it has become the reference against which all other phono preamplifiers will be compared. Next up, a visit to the world premiere of the Magico S5 2024, also on Atrium 4.1 in F115. I've had the pleasure of knowing Magico founder and CEO Alon Wolf for well over a decade now, and over all that time, his record of consistently creating remarkable loudspeakers has been undeniably established. Standout designs for me include the original M5 introduced at CES 2010, the Q7 introduced at CES 2012, the S7 and S subs introduced at Rocky Mountain Audio Fest 2015, and of course, his crowning accomplishment, the supreme M9s, which I heard during my visit to their Hayward factory in 2022. But High End Munich 2024 would be the first live showing of this latest addition to the S-Series, the new Magico S5 2024. Though they had been on static display in the outer room during April's Expona in the US, this was the first time we would hear them. And they did not disappoint. Here again, the new S5 2024's voice would be given life by the sublime contributions of an exceptional system. Though there was no analog front end here, on Sunday, when the room traffic had dwindled sufficiently to allow me to make my virtual visit recording, Jeff Fritz, who was rounding out his first year as Magico's product ambassador, was queuing up cut after cut using the Antipodes Alondra music server streamer of New Zealand, which in turn sent those files onto the flagship WADAX Atlantis reference stack for conversion back into music. The electronics were yet again from Greece's Pilium Audio, and while the system here again featured their Master Divine Series Olympus 3-chassis preamp, as with last week's visit to the Alsavox system, the Pilium Zeus stereo amplifier was used to drive the world premiere of the Magico S5 2024 loudspeakers. Power distribution was accomplished using both the Telos Monster Power Station and Earth Grounding systems of Taiwan. System connectivity was realized with an entire loom of the Italian Vida Laboratories cables, and all gear rested on a beautiful set of Artesania audio equipment stands made in Barbastro, Spain. During my repeated listens in this room over several visits, I could not help but be taken by its routinely, remarkably relaxed and natural presentation. With tracks like The Moon is a Harsh Mistress from Beyond the Missouri Sky by Charlie Hayden and Pat Metheny, this system almost seemed as if it were merely breathing as it regenerated musical ebb and flow effortlessly and engagingly. The system offered up its musical voice with a seductive sense of vibrant tonality. And while there could be no question about its ability to recreate the most authentic sensations of dynamism and remarkably lifelike scaling, it was also extremely accomplished at rendering superbly fine and scrupulous microdynamic resolution of musical detail. This is, in my opinion, the most accomplished S-Series loudspeaker to be introduced by Magico to date. Now, before I move on to the next room in today's visits, I wonder if anyone has noticed a common thread among many of the rooms I've covered so far, this week and last. I would hope that it would be clear by this point that many source and loudspeaker manufacturers and presenters here at this Munich show find the contributions of Pilium Electronics and Vida Cables to be significant to the way that they want their products to be represented. Finally, we move on to the Mobile Fidelity, commonly known as MoFi Distribution Room, also on Atrium 4.1 in F126. Over the course of this show, I ran into so many of the wonderful MoFi contingent representatives, most of whom I've known for decades. But it is always a pleasure to run into the simply remarkable Andrew Jones, now designing the MoFi loudspeaker lineup, and the equally accomplished Peter Madnick, who has the distinction of designing their electronics. The room details were rather hard to pin down, and to that extent, some were simply unavailable to me, even with follow-up emails at the time of making this recording. So bear with me. The room used 2 turntables, and the primary one I heard was from the UK, the Origin Live Sovereign Special Mark V. Now, the special in its name here refers to its upgraded multi-layered platter. The Sovereign used the new, lowest-priced optical phono cartridge and equalizer combination yet realized by Japan's DS Audio, the new DS-E3 system, but with a twist. DS Audio was also introducing a new tube-based equalizer system, employing 1 pair each of ECC82s and 12 AU7s, using a single-ended input with a transformer for improved isolation and left-right channel phase alignment. The second table in the system was from Silence Audio, but no further information was available on it. It also used the DS Audio DS-E3 stock optical cartridge and equalizer system. Files were served or streamed from Qobuz using an unnamed model Inuos streamer. An Aesthetics Pilium preamplifier with its optional internal DAC card managed line stage duties, feeding an Aesthetics hybrid Dion stereo amplifier. The Dion offers bipolar output and driver stages with an FET input stage and a vacuum tube gain stage. Speakers here were the latest SourcePoint addition to the MoFi speaker lineup, Andrew Jones's SourcePoint 888 speakers. Jim White's California-based Aesthetic Dion stereo power amplifier had no issue driving a 6-ohm nominal SourcePoint 888s to frenetic levels in this room, which was full every time I happened by. But in a word, this system rocked. The 888s offer exceptional performance for their surprisingly affordable price. And while their frequency response is given as 32 Hz to 30 kHz, their ability to reproduce musical slam and impact seem to convincingly delve much deeper into the bass region than their listed frequency response would seem to indicate. Their ability to portray instrumental detail and intelligibility, to deliver an exceptional sense of both the air and space of the recordings, combined with their previously mentioned surprising bass performance, imbues them with an ability to offer up a level of overall performance that you will be very unlikely to match without spending something on the order of perhaps twice again as much from anywhere else. The remarkable Mr. Jones continues to pull rabbits out of his hat, and the SourcePoint 888 is just the most recent example of his remarkable talents. Now, while I was in the room, I had a chance to speak with longtime acquaintance Peter Madnick about his latest Phonostage, the Mobile Fidelity MasterPhono Phonostage. For those unfamiliar with Peter's history, his career spans 5 decades, starting with his co-founding of the original Audio Alchemy in the late 1980s. He has been credited with designing something like 400 products during his remarkably prodigious career, and some of you may recall his work after Audio Alchemy with Perpetual Technologies, or as the former design manager for Constellation Audio, and his time at ELAC, where he revived the Alchemy name with some seriously overachieving products. Now, as Peter walked me through what he had done with this new phono preamplifier, including the full tour under the hood, I have to tell you, I was more than merely a bit curious to hear it and highly impressed with what he was showing me. I have asked to have one for a full review here in the Midwest at their first opportunity. Now, as we wind up here, as you may suspect, all the details I have on today's system, including make, model, and pricing where available, are presented in today's description. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share your favorite episodes. Supporting the channel has never been easier, and details on doing so may be found in today's description section or by visiting my companion website, theaudioanalyst.com. Until next time, please stay safe and keep the music playing. Cheers.